Man,
All
you got
right,
some
I'm
beautiful
recording right
eyes,
now.
too.
I'm recording, and I'll post this. All right, let's get going.
Dang.
Okay, all serious now.
Let me back up a little bit.
Order. Court is in order. Miss Queen Wolf, you're here representing Mr. Roller Gracie, and you're suing Mr. Jumbo Wumbo. Can you please tell the jury why we're here? Why is your client suing Mr. Jumbo Wumbo?
Yes, Your Honor. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my client, Mr. Roller Gracie, is suing Mr. Jumbo Wumbo for defamation of character. Now, to clarify to all of you, that my client, Mr. Roller Gracie, has a medical condition that requires him to wear roller skates at all times, under no circumstances. So I just wanted to clarify for all of you. Now, my client, Mr. Roller Gracie, and Jumbo Wumbo has been friends for quite some time. Now, Mr. Roller Gracie wanted to discuss with Mr. Jumbo Wumbo about the money that he owed him. But Jumbo wanted to make an agreement, a legal agreement, that if he gave my client pure gold roller skates, that Mr. Roller would keep quiet about the money that Mr. Jumbo owes him. So they both come to agreement. In fact, they both wrote like a legal contract about that. So after agreement was settled, the two decided to have like a little roller skate race, just for fun. Obviously, Mr. Jumbo wins, my client loses, but it's not a big of a deal. Obviously, it's just a game. It wasn't until Mr. Roller, however, after the game, that when he went home to clean, basically polish the golden skates, that there was a large smudge. Now that's suspicious. And not only did that, after he noticed the smudge, his ankles started to turn green. Now, obviously, he went to the hospital, but he also sent those skates over to the lab to see if they were, in fact, fake or real. And what do we know? When it came back, the lab results confirmed that those were, in fact, fake. Now, because Mr. Jumbo Wumbo agreed in the contract to give him real pure golden skates, we are suing him for $250,000 because those were in fact fake skates. Thank you.
Okay. Just have one question. You said we was here for defamation of character and a contract dispute. We've heard the contract dispute, but why are we here for defamation?
Oh yes, I forgot to explain that. So after the whole skate of him finding out skates that the skates were fake, my client, Mr. Roller Gracie, went over to confront Mr. Wumbo about it. Obviously, Mr. Wumbo denied it and tried to make it seem like he never gave him the skates. So he basically tried to contact his other lawyer, basically saying that he made up some lie about him agreeing to terms of giving him golden skates. So he was making like basically public public document claiming that. So that's why we're suing him for defamation of character. He's trying to make my client seem like he's a liar, that he made this whole thing up.
Okay, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the plaintiff's opening statement. Now, let's go with the defense. Mr. Bundy,
Okay.
Would you like to have your
Yes,
opening
Your Honor.
statement for the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I appreciate you coming in here today. I will refer to Miss Queen here as my friend throughout the court case. So when I refer to my friend, that's who I'm speaking of. She just spoke about how she went up to my client a week ago and tried to ask him questions, saying that she was not a lawyer. She was actually pretending to be some kind of government official who tried to get some answers out of my client. I will prove that later with his testimony. We do have in the courtroom today who will prove that Mr. Roller Gracie is actually a racist. And now I know that people throw out the race card all the time, but I'm going to have his ex-wife here today who's going to testify against why she's divorced him because of his racism. Now, what really took place was my client was shopping in a Walmart trying to buy himself a brand new pair of roller skates. When he heard some kind of commotion or something going on in the next aisle, where my other client, who you'll meet later, was trying to purchase a shotgun for her husband, when Mr. Roller Gracie also wanted to buy a shotgun, and there was only one left in the store because it was during Black Friday. He grabbed the shotgun out of, who you'll meet later, my witness's hand, then started yelling at her racial comments, knocked her over. She fell down, broke her neck. When she fell down, she knocked the, I don't know, what do you call those things that you keep all the items that you're, a shelf. She knocked the shelf over, which then landed on my client, Mr. Jumbo Wombo, that destroyed the roller skates that he was trying to purchase. So this roller skate, I don't know, idea that they're coming up with is far-fetched. I will prove throughout my court case that this man here is a racist, was left by his wife, injured two people in a Walmart, and somehow they're trying to do this whole defamation of character thing. Look at my client. What's the first thing you think of? And be honest in your head. What's the first thing you think of when you see my client? Please keep that in your mind throughout this court case, please.
All right, Ms. Wolf.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. Ms. Wolf, you have 3 pieces of evidence to support your claim against Mr. Jumbo Wumbo. What is your first piece of evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. So my first piece of evidence is the contract that both Mr. Jumbo Wumbo and my client, Mr. Roller Gracie, signed and agreed on. So this is
What does this contract state? You tell me what it states. I want to be fair. What does this contract say?
So this is basically agreements that if, let's see. So this is agreement that Mr. Jumbo Wumbo would give the golden skates to my client, Mr. Roller Gracie, in exchange for Mr. Roller Gracie to basically forget about the whole money that Mr. Jumbo Wumbo obviously owns him. So they came to the agreement. Let's see. Mr. Jumbo Wumbo had his other lawyer create the contract, and that's when both of them came together, physically face to face, and actually signed the contract together. And this contains both of their names.
What's your second? Yeah, Mr. Bundy, you have an objection to that contract?
I would. They didn't really testify what the contract is, and I'm hoping that they will have subpoenaed this other lawyer that will talk about this contract being signed by Mr. Gracie and my client.
Do you have the other lawyer as a witness, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to accept that contract then. What is the second piece of evidence?
So the second piece of evidence is actually a test results from the lab. Now, as I stated inside my opening statement, that after my client, Mr. Roller Gracie, noticed something wrong with the skates, he actually took those skates to basically the lab tech. He tested, basically, he had these tested like for about 2 hours until he got like inconclusive results. And this basically proves that those golden skates were in fact a fake, that they were made from some type of chemical that obviously caused an allergic reaction to my client.
All right. So and then what's your third piece of evidence?
My third piece of evidence is actually the before and after photo of the golden skates that Mr. Wumbo gave to my client. Now, you can see the after. The before. You can clearly see that these skates were, in fact, they look really gold and they look new. There's no smudge on anything. So it was inside this condition that Mr. Wumbo gave to Mr. Roller.
Okay.
Now, if you see the after one, you see that there's a lot of smudges, like a lot of discoloration. Gold is just coming off. As everybody probably knows, real gold does not come off like that. It stays on. It's like a golden coin. When you have a golden coin, you expect that golden coloration to stay.
All
Why
right.
would real gold smudge like that? So
All
this
right.
is a clarification. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, jury, you've heard the evidence. So she's got it to me, and this is what I see. That I have the evidence. Here's what I see. I do see the contract that states that the roller skates were in exchange for what you said, in exchange for time, right? Until able to
Yes.
pay the loan back. All right.
Yes.
Mr. Bundy, there will be a lawyer who presided over this contract. You will be able to cross-examine that lawyer for the validity of this contract. But, ladies and gentlemen, jury, this is the contract. Secondly, I see the pictures. I see the roller skates. They look like solid gold skates at first, but I do see some green, like a gold, like a fake chain would wear off.
Mm-hmm.
I do see some of that on the skates. All right. And what was the third piece of evidence again? I just want to make sure I got it right.
Yes, the third piece was the lab results.
Yeah, and the lab results.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry. The lab results prove basically what the lab results do. They prove that the skates were fake. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, let me
Yes,
ask you: Do you have someone here? Do you have someone that's going to testify to that the lab results? Just want to make sure.
Yes.
Okay, all right, there we go. So, Mr. Bundy,
Sorry, Your Honor,
we
did
do
you
have
say fake lab results?
no. No. She has a person here that's going to testify to the lab results, stating that the roller skates was fake. Mr. Bundy,
Okay.
that person is here, and then you will be able to cross-examine that person, and that's a good thing. I like it when all your people are here. Okay, let's move on to you, Mr. Bundy.
Your Honor, can I ask a question about the two pictures that you just read off to us, if you don't mind?
Yes.
Would you be able to read me anything that you see in the background of those pictures?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking at the pictures again. Here are the pictures. The first picture I see are the skates when they were new, and they look gold. That you had gold wheels, you had gold base, you had the boot was part gold. Even the laces looked like they were gold.
Yeah.
All right. The second
Is there
part.
anything else in the background? Not the
In the
skates, but
background?
anything in the background.
I no, because the pictures it's a close up picture, so it's not
Close-up.
really
Thank you, Your Honor.
So
I
it's not
appreciate
really
that.
a background.
Thank
It's
you.
just a real close up picture of the skates, and then the second picture is the same thing. It's a close up picture. So the second picture, ladies and gentlemen, jury, I see the skates. I do see on the sides of both skates, I do see smudges like green. I do see some of the gold wore off, and that's what she's putting in the evidence. All right. Now, Mr. Bundy, now three pieces of evidence to support your claim for the defense.
Yes, I have a quick question, Your Honor. Will the court allow a notarized document from a professional?
Do you have this? So it's a notarized document. So you don't have
Yes,
this
so they're
professional
not-
here.
They weren't able to make it here today, but they are. It has been notarized by a notary republican, or however you say that word. I apologize.
Do you have any objection to this, Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
You're on mute. I'm sorry, you're talking. If you're talking, you're on mute.
Yes.
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Yes, you can then. Okay. All right. So what is your three pieces of evidence?
And my first piece of evidence, Your Honor, is the notarized document. It's from
Which
a
states what?
specialist. It's from a forensic scientist that did fingerprinting on these alleged skates. I will send that up to you now.
All
that
right.
states, well, I'll let you read it yourself, but
Okay. I got it. There you go.
there's no fingerprint evidence of either Mr. Gracie or my client on those things.
Okay. So so this notarized statement here is saying there's no fingerprints on the skates, right? They haven't been touched. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I will put that in the evidence, and we'll discuss that in just a second. What is your second piece of evidence?
Second piece of evidence, Your Honor, is the medical bills for my client when he was attacked brutally by Mr. Gracie. Those are up there to you as well.
All right.
It's just a receipt. It's not a document or anything. It's just a receipt. It says Meta Hospital, and then it shows what happened to him.
Gotcha. I got that receipt. Okay. And what's your third piece?
I don't need a third piece of evidence, Your Honor.
Well, there it is. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is what I have from the defense. Here's the evidence. I have basically, this is a hospital report stating that Mr. Jumbo Wumbo did go into the hospital, and it also states some of his injuries. He had a contusion on his leg. He had a bruise on his forehead from this injury from the shells. All right. And the second piece of evidence, this is a notarized piece of evidence from the forensic lab of Meta, which states that after having these skates in his possession, he dusted it for fingerprints, and there was no fingerprints. So I don't want to go any further than that. He dusted it for fingerprints. There was no fingerprints on the roller skates. Am I correct in everything, Mr. Bundy?
Yes, you are.
All right, good. Let's move on. Miss Wolf, I'm going to give you how many witnesses have you prepped, Miss Wolf?
I have 3 witnesses, Your Honor.
All right.
Including-
Now for time, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Bundy. You have an
5
objection?
minutes.
What do you mean by prepped, Your Honor?
I mean that I just mean how many witnesses does she have ready to testify today?
Thank you.
Okay, for time's sake, can you please have your first witness be Mr. Roller Gracie, and we know he has to leave the court today because he has a prior arrangement. Okay, Mr. Roller
Yes,
Gracie,
sir.
you may come in. You may come to the witness stand. I will swear you in.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gracie, can you please put your right hand on the good book, left hand up? Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth here in Meta Court?
I do.
All right. Miss Wolf is your witness. You have let's say you have 3 questions, but you may get a fourth one if the questions are good. I may give you a little wiggle room. Can proceed.
Okay. Mr. Roller, can you tell me and the people in court how this whole contract or agreement came to be?
Yes. Jumbo and I have been friends for a long time. He was having trouble paying rent, so I lended him some money, like $5,000, so he could pay rent. And once I did that, he was supposed to pay me back, and he said that he would give me a pair of golden roller skates because I'm disabled and I use skates to get around everywhere. So I wanted the golden skates because it would make it easier for me. So he said he was going to give me some golden skates to be able to skate around everywhere. And then they happened to be false gold and turned my ankles green and such. So that's why we're here today, to resolve this.
Okay. So, is it true that after you noticed something wrong with the skates, that you took it to a lab to have it examined?
Yes, ma'am.
And one more question. Is it true that when you confronted Mr. Jumbo Wumbo about it, he denied it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Bundy, you can cross-examine. Again, you have 3 to 4 questions as well.
Thank you. I'll make them very quick ones. Mr. Gracie, you just stated that you took the skates to the lab.
Yes, sir.
How was it that they weren't able to find any fingerprints on it? Did you clean them off or anything like that?
Yes, sir.
And why would
I
you
cleaned
clean them
them
off? Why would you do that when there could be, incriminating evidence of my client's fingerprints on these said roller skates?
He had given them to me, so I was skating with them. So they would have been taken
But
off
that's not
by
the question.
there.
The question I'm asking you is, why were there no fingerprints found on these skates?
Because I cleaned them.
Why did you clean them?
I always clean my skates. That's just a OCD thing I have.
Do you consider yourself an educated man?
Yes, sir.
Objection.
What are you
does that
you
have
objecting
to do
to?
with the case? He's basically insulting my client,
It's
asking
not
him if he's
insulting,
an
Your
educated or
Honor.
not.
This question is
I'm
leading
gonna-
up to
I'm
my
gonna-
very
I'm-
important next question.
I'm gonna overrule that. You may ask that question, Mr. Eddie. We're doing a contest right now, sir. So I can't let you in. Thank you though. Go ahead, Mr. Bundy.
So, an educated person, I would assume, if they had some kind of contract over roller skate purchasing, would not want to remove any incriminating evidence that was placed on those skates. Don't you agree with that?
No, that had nothing to do with it.
Nothing at all, eh?
No.
Thank you very much. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, so you may sit down. As a matter of fact, what we're going to do, the court is going to dismiss. We've heard Mr. Roller Gracie's testimony. We understand he has to leave. So, sir, we're going to give you permission to leave. Thank you for your testimony. And thank you for being a part of our contest, sir.
And let me know what happens.
All right.
I'll be
sure
on my
will.
12-mile skate tonight, so I would like to know.
I'm sure that after this court case, the police will be looking for you, Mr. Gracie.
Go
There's
ahead.
no problem about that.
Go ahead, sir. You may leave out. No, Mr. Eddie, we're doing our best lawyer in contest, so we're not going to allow anybody else to come in. Thank you, though, for being here. Okay. Miss Queen Wolf, would you like to your second witness, please?
Yes, Your Honor. My second witness will be Ms. Grego, who was Mr. Roller's other lawyer, who witnessed and confirmed the contract.
I'm bumping into the.
Your Honor, I would like to just, put on record that when this witness came in, they were kind of swerving a bit.
All right, we'll put that on record. Miss Grego, would you please put your hand on the good book, your right hand on the good book, left hand up. Do you promise to tell the truth? Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth here in Metacourt?
I sure do.
All right, Miss Wolf, you're a witness.
Hey, y'all.
Oh.
So, Ms. Grego, is it true that Mr. Roller hired you as a lawyer to settle this contract between him and Mr. Wumbo?
Yes, he did.
And did you physically see Mr. Wumbo after them signing the contract? Did you see Mr. Wumbo physically give Mr. Roller, in fact, the skates?
That is correct. I did see Mr. Jumbo Wumbo transfer physically the skates over to Roller Gracie, and then they did sign the contractual agreement. Jumbo Wumbo's signature, Roller Gracie's signature, to verify Jumbo Wumbo was transferring this item over to Roller Gracie.
So, after you did, in fact, witness them physically sign and confirm the contract.
Objection leading, Your Honor.
Okay, yes, ma'am. So can you ask that question in another way that doesn't lead him to doesn't lead her to an answer, please? Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor. So, let me put it to this. After they settled the whole thing,
Leading again, Your Honor.
Let me hear the question first. Please continue with the whole question. Let me hear this question first.
Yes. Okay. So after Mr. Roller and Mr. Wumbo settled the whole thing, did you legally, as Roller's lawyer, did you legally confirm the agreement that was made?
I did confirm the agreement.
Just wait. There's an objection, and you just wanted to hear the question. That's a leading question.
Okay. Well, no, I'm not. I'm going to say it's not, because all she's doing, she's just asking. She's asking if said lawyer saw the contract. So this is a legal contract. So I'll ask the question, ma'am. Did you see? You saw the contract signed? Is that correct? I think you already answered that question.
I oversaw the signing of the contract and validated that it was a transaction, a confirmed transaction between Jumbo Wumbo and Roller Gracie.
Yeah, so she basically asked the same question over again, Mr. Bundy. Ms. Wolf, do you have any other questions?
No.
Okay, all right.
Your Honor.
Mr. Bundy, you may cross-examine.
Thank you very much. If you don't mind, Miss Grego, here's the
Cross-examine me, baby.
if you don't mind, here's that contract that you speak of. Could you take a look at it and tell me everything that you see on that? You can pretend you got it in your hand.
Okay, I can't reach it. Okay.
Everything on that thing.
Sorry.
I want you to explain everything on that page.
This is a contract where Mr. Jumbo Wumbo is presenting Roller Gracie with a set of, as it states, pure gold roller skates.
Okay.
Gifted to Roller Gracie in lieu of payment for a loan that Jumbo Wumbo owed to Roller Gracie. That is what was stated. And
and you say stated with that, not actually seen. But is there anything else on that paper? Anything else that you can tell us?
There were signatures, Jumbo Wumbo's signature of transferring to, Roller Gracie's signature receiving, and all the little subcontracts, the little sub paragraphs in the contracts that were initialed by Jumbo Wumbo, verifying that the skates were actually solid gold.
So it's very rare that somebody would have a contract signed on a pair of any item. Like even when you buy a car from somebody, you don't get a contract signed. But since we did in this matter, and Mr. Gracie claimed that he was an educated person, don't you think he would have that notarized? No further questions, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'm the lawyer,
Mr. Grego. Ms. Grego, you may sit down.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Wolf, you got one more witness?
Yes, Your Honor. So this is Mr. Just Meta, who is the lab tech who did lab tests on the skates and who also confirmed the lab results.
Okay, we just met her. Can you please put your right hand on the good book and your left hand up? Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth here in Metacourt?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Ma'am, 3 questions, maybe 4.
Okay. Mr. Just Meta, is it true that Mr. Roller came to you with a pair of golden skates to have them tested?
I think so.
Sorry, can you repeat the question, Your Honor? I didn't hear it. I apologize.
Okay. Ma'am, will you repeat the question?
Ask it again. Yes. So, Mr. Just Meta, is it true that my client, Mr. Roller, brought over to you a pair of golden skates for you to test on?
Yeah, that's very true.
Okay. So, after that, do you want to explain how this whole testing thing works for the people in court to understand?
Yeah, are those my notes? Do you have my? Can I read those? Can I see those notes?
Well, let's see.
That's the lab results.
Yeah, the lab results. This was something I was going to bring over to you anyway.
Oh, that's cool. All right, perfect. Well, oh yeah, I remember this day. The day we tested skates. That was Bring Your Dog to Work Day. I remember this one. Yeah, here's what happened. So anyway, it was Bring Your Dog to Work Day at the test lab. And so Bob, my partner, he brought his dog in, right? And it looked more like a horse to me. It was this giant friggin' dog. Anyway, the dog gets loose in the lab and starts running around everywhere. And I had set the golden skates up on top of the table, and the dog's running around everywhere. Anyway, the dog bumps into the skates, and the skates do what they do. You know, they rolled right off the end of the table, and they landed on this big pile of glass. I mean, the last thing we tested. It was all broken and shattered. It was a bad test. Anyway, so I went and picked up the skates, and I noticed that they were very light. I thought, wow, these are really light. So I'm like, they should be gold and heavy, but they weren't. So I took a sample, I scraped it off, and stuck it in our mass spectrometer. It's a machine that looks a lot like this thing, and it tells you what's in it. And it came back, and the results were it was made of 3 things, which was really weird. One of them was gold paint, and the other one was aluminum foil and some sort of green goo. I don't know what the green goo was about. But anyway, it turns out that the skates were actually made out of aluminum foil and been painted with gold paint. It was really freaking weird. So when we were done, we finished testing, and we had to scrape all that glass off. We cleaned them up really good because we wanted them to kind of look good, but they were all messed up. But he didn't notice, so we wiped them down really good and gave them back, and that's how the test went.
Okay, so just to clarify, because you noticed from the test results that those gold skates were made out of aluminum foil. did you come to the conclusion that those skates were in fact fake?
Well, I don't know if they were fake. I mean, they were real skates, but they were just made out of aluminum foil and painted with some gold paint, and there's some green slime on them. It was weird. I don't know why I'd do that.
All right.
Okay, but
Thank you very much, Miss Wolf. Oh, you had another question? You good?
Well, I was just gonna kind of rephrase my question, because the real question that I'm trying to ask is this. Okay, so yeah, they were real like skates, but in fact they weren't real gold skates, right?
Oh no, they weren't real gold. They were made of aluminum
No
foil.
further
and
questions, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, there we
cheap
go.
paint.
Mr. Bundy, you may ask your questions. Cross-examine.
Yes, I have no further questions with a response, Your Honor. The reason we're here today is not for some kind of fake roller skate. So yeah, no questions.
No questions. All right, so you may sit down. Okay, now, Mr. Bundy, it's your time for your defense and your witnesses. Would you like to call your first witness for your defense?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to call up Mr. Gracie's ex-wife, Crowline.
Miss Crowline? Please put your right hand on the good book, left hand up. Do you promise to tell the truth and nothing but the truth here in Metacourt?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Bundy is your witness.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Miss Crowline, just a quick question. Why did you divorce Mr. Gracie?
So after years of being married, I did a DNA test, 1, 2, 3 DNA thing, and I was found to have different ancestors that were not Caucasian.
Okay. Continue.
He started alienating me and getting quite ugly, and I just could not take it anymore. It was terrible. So it was very hard, but I had to leave.
I apologize for asking that hard question. This one won't be as hard. Does your husband own a pair of roller skates? Or ever own a pair?
He does not, and we started dating when we were 12. We went to school together. We were together forever. That's why it was so hard with the divorce. And I never saw him roller skate.
Okay. Why do you think my friend here is using roller skates in this case?
I honestly just don't know. I just don't know. I have no idea. He never roller skated. We never roller skated, even as kids.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Did you ever know about any kind of disability that Mr. Gracie had?
He was a little ADD, but besides that, he's just a regular kid and man.
Okay. And one last quick question. Mr. Gracie, if people use the scale of 1 to 10 for pain, 10 being the severe pain, 1 being the least amount of pain. Let's change that scale to racism. How would you rate Mr. Gracie?
Before I had my DNA results, I would say 0.
Okay.
We grew up together. There was no racist comments or anything. But after I received those back, I would say 10. That's why I divorced the love of my life.
And was that just towards
couldn't do
you or everybody that was not white?
It was just towards me.
Okay. Thank you very much, Your Honor. No further questions.
Okay, Miss Wolf, you may cross-examine.
All right. So, Miss Crowline, during your relationship with Mr. Wumbo, did he ever discuss...
No, Mr. Gracie.
Mr. Gracie. Okay. So, throughout your whole relationship with my client, Mr. Gracie, did he ever discuss the friendship that he had with Mr. Wumbo?
No, I had never even heard of him at all.
Okay. did he ever discuss? Let's see. So, did he ever discuss about having like a disagreement with somebody such as Mr. Wumbo?
I mean, again, I've never heard of him at all. I've
Okay.
never seen him. I've never heard his name. And we were together basically 24/7. We both worked from home. So I, I've just never heard of him.
Okay. Um, let's see. I don't know if Mr. Bundy already asked this, but would you consider Mr. Roller a racist in some way?
So I will say that we basically grew up in a white dominant area. So it never really even crossed my mind. But when I had my DNA results and how he changed how he treated me, I would say definitely he's a racist.
All right. Any
No
more
further
questions, Mr.
questions,
Wolf?
Your Honor.
All right. All right, ma'am, you may sit down. Mr. Bundy, do you how about your second witness?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to call up the other victim from the Walmart, lovely Monique.
All right. Miss Monique, would you please put your hand on your right hand on the good book and your left hand up? Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth here in Metacourt? I'm sorry, we can't hear you. You may still be in a party. Yes, Miss Monique, we can't hear you, but you may still be attached to the party.
I said absolutely.
There we go. Now we can hear you, ma'am. All right. Mr. Bundy, you're a witness. A couple questions, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank
I'm
you.
sorry. I gotta group myself today. I'm sorry.
Thank you, lovely, for coming in today. I have a really hard question for you, but I want you to give us in great detail what happened on the day at Walmart.
Okay. And sorry. I went into Walmart hoping to buy my husband anniversary gift. We've been married for 2 years now, and so he's into guns. So I went to go buy him this fancy shotgun that I seen on their website. Okay. And so as I approached the store clerk or associate, whatever you want to call it, I you know, I'm sorry, this is difficult. I proceed to talk to the store clerk about the gun, and they said that you were in luck. This is the last one. I'm like, oh my God, my husband is going to be so happy. So, as I'm talking to the store, I'm so sorry. As I'm talking to the store clerk, and Roller Gracie comes up abruptly in the most disrespectful way, and I'm already a happy-go person. I don't like Tyler. I don't, and I'm alone. My husband is not with me, so I'm already like, okay, what's going on? How can I handle the situation? So I stay calm. I don't say nothing. And so as I'm talking to the store clerk, he comes up just disrespectful and outraged, and just, I guess he had a bad day or something. I don't know. Okay, so he as soon as I try to purchase the gun, he proceeds to ask for the same gun that I got. Okay, pretty much he wants that gun, and so when the store clerk said, sorry, she is buying it, this is hers, going telling him, what the issue is, he gets outraged and start calling me all kinds of, just start calling me all kinds of discriminatory names and just disrespectfulness. And again, I don't have my husband with me, so I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. And so he just got outrageous. It just knocks me down to the ground. I mean, knocks me down to the ground, and decides to just treat me like a punching bag. I've never had to experience this in the whole 26 years of my life. Never.
I am so sorry that you had to go through that. I'm going to ask you an easier question. Do you need a minute?
Yes, please.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay. I'm good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Okay.
Now, you've been sitting in this courtroom all day.
Yes.
I just want your opinion on what you think about this whole roller skate thing.
Roller skate? I don't. Why would I care about somebody roller skating or in seeing somebody roller skate? My husband is a big man. He don't roller skate, and I don't roller skate, and I don't care about roller skating.
And no, I'll rephrase the question. What I mean is why do you think Mr. Gracie has brought up some roller skate stupid scheme in this proceeding that should have been something different? I apologize. Please answer the question.
I don't know. Maybe to get a bust out of it, or he's not very smart. So I don't know.
All right, one last question. It's a quick one, Your Honor.
Okay, very quick.
Did you see any interaction between Gracie and Mr. Wombo that day at Walmart?
Bundy, I told you I was just in the store getting a gun for my husband. That's all I was doing. I ain't there for nobody else.
I don't want to torment you.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I don't want to. Thank you, lovely. I appreciate you coming in today.
All right, ma'am. Thank you for your testimony. You may sit down. Your last witness, Mr. Bundy.
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to call up my client, Mr. Jumbo Wombo.
All right, Mr. Wombo, please come up. Wait. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. I think I missed something. I didn't give Miss Wolf a chance to.
Oh, Jesus.
So I'm sorry, Mr.
Right,
Mr. Wombo. You may sit down, Mr. Wombo. Miss.
I think we were all caught off by that one.
Yeah, it was just an emotional story. Miss Wolf, would you like to cross-examine this witness? You're still on mute if you're talking. Your headset's on mute, Miss Wolf. Miss Wolf, I don't know if you're talking, but your headset is on mute. You having a problem? Okay. There we go.
Okay.
Now it's off. Yeah,
Sorry. Okay. So, Miss Lovely, I know this is an emotional, time for you, so...
I can't hear you, Queen.
Hold on.
No. You got to come a little closer. I couldn't hear you.
Okay. So, like I was saying, Miss Lovely, I know this is an emotional time for you, so I'm just going to keep it brief for you. So, during that time, the data that happened, did you, in fact, see my client, Mr. Roller Gracie?
I'm sorry.
I understand.
When you're physically attacked by the person with clear as day, I don't wear glasses. I got 22 vision, 20, whatever the highest one is. I know who I seen. 2020. I know who I seen interact with me that day. Roller Gracie, I know. Yes. What kind of question is that? I'm sorry. What kind of question?
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be insensitive. I just wanted to have you confirm that it was.
You can't miss that blonde hair and blue eye guy. You can't miss him.
Your Honor, due to the witness' emotional state, I have no more questions.
All right, ma'am, you may sit down. Okay, Mr. Bundy, your last witness, Jumbo Wumbo, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wumbo, there we go. Close the gate. Mr. Wumbo, would you please put your right hand on the good book, your left hand up?
Wow.
Sir, do you promise to tell the truth and nothing but the truth here in medical court?
I do.
All right, Mr. Bundy, 3 questions, please.
Thank you. 3 questions. Mr. Wombo, tell me what happened the day at Walmart.
I was waiting on the guy in the shoe department to bring me back a pair of roller skates that would fit me. Because I don't I have a very big foot. I wear a size 17. So I was waiting on him to bring me out a pair and see if he had a pair. And I heard some commotion, and then next thing you know, I heard a loud crash. Everything fell down on me. Everything was okay until my turban and my spiritual necklace came out, and that's when things got haywire.
What do you mean got haywire?
Everything was okay, man, and it's all right until I put it back on and everything, and then he was like shouting all kinds of, and I'm going to spare the court, but he was shouting all kinds of slurs and all kinds of, like it was my fault, and I wasn't even involved in the situation in any way, shape, or form. I had no idea what was going on until I had hundreds of pounds of shelves fall on me.
Okay. And before that incident at Walmart, did you know Mr. Gracie before that day?
Never. I've never seen him before in my life.
Why do you think this defamation of character and some kind of contract about roller skates has been brought to this court today?
Objection, Your Honor.
What are you objecting to?
Because there are documents proving that they were, in fact, that they had an agreement specifically created by Jumbo Wumbo.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly, Your Honor.
All right. Well, I'm gonna overrule. He's just giving his opinion on why they're here.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Bundy.
So go ahead and answer the question for me, if you wouldn't mind, please.
Would you repeat the question?
Why do you think that Mr. Gracie has used this courtroom today for a roller skate counter with you and him?
I mean, I just remember seeing afterwards and just his state, his mental state, and the things he was wearing, and then, the altercation outside whenever he went and walked to his car. He's a man in need. He's a man that is struggling, and he's a man that will try to do whatever he can to get by in life, I feel like. I'm an honest, hardworking man. I came over here just to get a job and do things the right way, and I live by that. I live by the American way, and I want to work.
All right. Mr. Bundy, you have any more questions?
Just my last third question. Did you ever meet a lawyer regarding this contract?
I did. I was actually approached earlier this week by Wolf Queen, who claimed to be another name, and was asking me to speak about details on this case. That she would be representing me. As you know, that is a government appointed lawyer on both ends. And I was approached by the plaintiff's lawyer that she was going to be representing me and to disclose the details of the case to her.
Thank you very much.
All right.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Miss Wolf, you may cross-examine.
Mr. Jumbo Wumbo, as you said during your testimony, you're an honest, hardworking man, correct?
Mr. Wumbo?
Would you repeat the question?
Yes. Mr. Jumbo Wumbo, during your testimony, you said that you're a honest, hardworking man.
Correct.
Okay. So you were obviously there during this alleged attack happened. my thing is if you saw that incident or altercation, why didn't you call the police?
I did.
Really?
The security took care of it, and then as they were escorting him out, we all followed him out, and that's like I said in my testimony. I saw him. I saw his vehicle. He's a man in need, and I feel like he's grasping for straws to get by at this point.
I mean, the only reason why I asked that, Mr. Jumbo Wumbo, is because we have no records stating, in fact, that you called the police over this alleged crime. That basically you didn't identify my client, Mr. Roller, as the alleged attacker. It just says that you were there, but it doesn't say that you made like a statement against him. So that's the only reason. But I'll go to the next question.
No. We're
Okay,
not making
yes.
a statement like that without an answer coming.
Okay, so what are you objecting to?
Objection,
Mr. Bundy?
objection, Your Honor. A question was asked.
I'd like
and
to
she's not
speak.
letting him answer.
I would like to speak.
Was there a question or was there a statement?
Yes. No, it was a question.
Okay. Well, go ahead and answer the question then. Go ahead and answer the
As
question.
I previously stated, as we were pursuing him out to the parking lot as he was fleeing the incident, I'd notified him that I told him, I was like, this isn't over. I'm hurt. All these things have gone on and it's not over. And he said, okay, I've got you. And it is in Walmart. So security took care of it. They've got all that stuff on file in store.
Okay.
And I didn't have enough time to find a lawyer in the meantime.
All right, Miss Wolf.
Okay. So my next question is, so if you did not in fact knew him, why does it say your name and has your handwriting on the contract that you created with you and Mr. Roller?
Well, as my lawyer previously questioned your client on, is that document notarized?
Yes, it is notarized. And
No.
Yes,
and what is the date on that?
It's October 21st of last year.
Okay, so the incident happened on September 15th. They served him with papers on the 29th.
So you mean to tell me that they served him the papers on the 29th, and you're saying that the whole sit down with the signed contract and agreement never happened?
I'm saying, yeah, there was never any indication that I was seen. There was no contract seen, me physically signing. That is not a notarized document. As soon as I started talking about, I warned him in the parking lot as he was fleeing, and he said I haven't seen the last of him. Once I served him with soon as I served him with paperwork, that's whenever this whole contract was. This whole contract situation came up.
Any more questions?
He just beat me to the punch, essentially.
So just to clarify to the people in court that you're saying you never personally knew my client, Mr. Roller, that he was just some guy attacking another customer?
Before the incident, no. I've never met him before a day in my life. We come from completely different walks of life, completely ends of the earth, and I mean, it is what it is. I see in a setting where we could be mutual with each other, but I've never met him before. I don't know him.
All right, Mr. Wolf. All right, Miss Wolf. Okay, sir, you may sit down. Mr. Jumbo Wumbo, you may sit down. Okay, so now let's go to the closing statements. Mr. Bundy, would you? I'll give you 1 minute to close.
Okay.
With your closing.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just got to look at my notes here really quickly. There they are. If the jury doesn't mind, I'm just going to stand here. I'm getting older and my hips hurting me a little bit. But I would like to point out at the beginning of my friend here questioning one of my witnesses, specifically Lovely, she stated, I understand what you're dealing with and going through. Does that mean that maybe her client might have told her lawyer or his lawyer the truth? Because you can do that, and your lawyer is sworn by oath to not say anything. The other thing I want to point out is throughout this court case on my side, we've proven that there's no roller skates. This is just some guy that's trying to hurt another guy who's been hurt by that guy. And not only has my client been hurt, but so does somebody else. We heard the testimony of a young woman that was brutally victimized by this man in a Walmart. And then his wife got up after and told you the same thing. This man is a racist. And when my client was leaving the Walmart after he was brutally attacked, he said that by looking at this gentleman's clothes and his car, you could tell that he was a little down out on his luck. And maybe that's because his wife has left him. I've been through some stressful situations in my life where, yeah, I could have handled things a little bit differently if my life wasn't so stressful at that time. Your wife leaving you, publicly coming out that you allegedly are a racist, but I think we all know the truth about that. He's even left the courtroom because he knows at the end of this, he's going to be found, that my client's not guilty, and the police are going to be looking for Mr. Gracie. I leave this in your hands. We heard a really good testimony that was from the heart, from a victim. So please find in favor of my client not guilty, and let's go after the real criminal here. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Before we move on, I think, Farron, are you trying to get my attention on something? I don't know if you were or not. Please come in. I can't hear you. Just come in just a second, because I can't hear what you're saying. Farron?
I was not trying to get your attention, Your Honor.
Okay,
I was merely screaming and yelling and wanting to interject in many points and trying to stifle myself instead. So please forgive me.
Oh, okay. All right, good. Okay, all right. Okay, good. Sorry about that. Miss Queen Wolf, would you like to, your closing statement, please, to the jury?
So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we're only here for one thing and one thing only: defamation of character. Now, obviously, this was about one thing: an agreement gone wrong. So, nowhere in that scenario did racism even came up. There's no evidence. There's no documents proving that alleged attack even happened. And let me just be the first person to say that Mr. Roller is no way, in shape or form, a racist. If I personally knew that he was a racist, I wouldn't be representing him. I mean, come on. If he was truly a racist, why would he hire a black female lawyer to represent him? That part does not make any sense. So because of that, I
Your
feel
Honor,
like...
Your Honor, I hate to do this. I've never done this during a closing, but I need to object something here.
No, sir. No, sir. I'm not going to allow you to object. No. She has the right to do a close. She has the right to, just like you had your right to close. Please let her close.
Racism was never an issue in this whole legal case. In fact, there's no documentations claiming that my client was even racist. This was just a case over an agreement that Mr. Jumbo Wumbo made himself between him and Mr. Roller over skates and to forget how much money they owed him. So I feel like Mr. Jumbo Wumbo is only adding this to basically sabotage this real case so he can win. I hope that you, the people of the jury, find it in your hearts, based off the testimony and the evidence, that you will see in fact, and stick with the facts, please, that my client was never even being charged with this, that obviously my client, which is being backstabbed. So I'll leave the choice up to you.
There it is. All right. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen of the
Your
jury,
Honor?
you have the.
Your Honor?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If my friend here will allow me to have 10 seconds, I will give her another 30 seconds in her closing.
No.
I don't even need 10 seconds. I need 5 seconds because
no,
in
sir.
any courtroom that I've been in, the defendant always does the closing last.
Sir, we've wrapped up. That's it. All the testimony,
Okay.
everything's done. Yeah, we've wrapped up. I will say this though. Now I'm gonna give it to the jury, Miss Sarah Jane Smith and her jury members. They're gonna deliberate, and then we go from there.
While they're debating, can I ask you a quick question, Your Honor?
No, because they can hear the questioning and everything. So we're just gonna wrap it up, and that's gonna be it.
Well, and they never even proved the defamation thing.
No, but I do have a contract that.
No,
clarifies that both your
ma'am,
clients
no, ma'am,
ended.
no, sir, no, sir. Everything has been considered. Now the jury
What?
has it. Everything is you're still.
For Christ's sakes.
So the jury has it. Let's have silence. Let's let the jury do what they do. Okay, so this is how I know this is a Mr. Bundy. Mr. Bundy, you got to go back over there, Mr. Bundy. Come on, Mr. Bundy.
He's drifting.
Oh, he's drifting.
He's
Oh,
drifting.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen of the court here, this is how I know we had a really good case because, as you can see, they're deliberating and they're deliberating very rigorously. So I want to give a big shout out to Miss Queen Wolf 200 and Mr. Al Bundy. He, Mr. Bundy went to in jail. What is he doing in jail? Mr. Theme God, Mr. Theme God, and Miss Chrissy, could y'all please come over here in here just a second? Just go stand over by the wall. Just stand over by that wall, just if you could, just for a second.
I took the batteries out of my controller. That seemed to have helped.
There you go. Oh, you was drifting again. Yeah.
You both did, but you took it all the way. Oh.
Whenever y'all ready, I think I think we may have an agreement. Okay, Miss. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Before we do that, let me just do one thing. Let me just say thank you very much
Did
to
Bundy
my.
leave? Oh, there he is.
No, he's right there. Thank you
no.
very much to my jury members. Remember, we're going to be doing this tomorrow. We have 6 more lawyers who come in tomorrow, and everyone else who's invited to come back tomorrow. We have 6 more lawyers. We're going to do the same thing, starting at 8. And just like today, I'll be in Meta Legal Services around 7. We'll open a room. We'll do the kind of same thing tomorrow. All right, so we're back in order. Okay, Miss Sarah Jane Smith, I got a couple questions for you. First of all, did you and your fellow jurors did y'all have a chance to see all the evidence in this case?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did y'all get a chance to hear all the testimony in this case?
Yes, sir.
All right. So now when it comes down to Mr. Jumbo Wumbo, so ma'am, is Mr. Jumbo Wumbo guilty or not guilty of this defamation and his contract dispute? Is he guilty? Is he the guilty party?
If it's all right with you, I'd like to let JB do this one. He has the eloquent words for this one. Come here.
All right, there you go. It's fine. Come on in, JB, and you may answer that question. Is Mr. Jumbo Wumbo guilty of these charges? We can't hear you if you're in a party. We see you talking, but we can't hear you.
We the jury, on the count of defamation of character, we find him not guilty.
All right.
In the terms of breach of contract, there we go. Breach of contract, we find him guilty.
All right. In breach of contract, we found him guilty. Okay. This is tough. Let me grab my gavel. This is
Why
tough.
were they here?
We were here for the defamation of character and the breach of contract. Mr. Farron, you got something you want to say? Hold on. Let me open him up. Let me open it up for Farron if he has something you want to say.
I think it's important for the court to understand why the jury found that way. What was the factors that made that occur?
Who's this? Okay, thank you. Who's this fly girl? Miss Fly Girl. Can you please leave? We're in the middle of court, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, so why do we you know what? I think it'd be good for Queen Wolf and Al to hear this, right? So why did the jury find this way? Go ahead, sir.
You guys asked you.
Yes. Why did the jury find this way?
Why did we find him?
Yes.
Oh, great, guys.
You want to answer that question, or you want Miss Smith to answer the
Mr.
question?
Wagner did that.
Okay, we could do that. Come on out, Mr. Wagner.
Yeah, let Wagner. Yeah, because he's.
Oh, get down. Get down.
Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Wagner. If you're talking, we can't hear you.
I think he's freezing up too.
Yeah,
okay, so on the defamation of character, so basically everything was brought up about him being a racist and all that sort of stuff. The thing is a statement was made at the beginning that they had known each other for years. But yet when they were in Walmart and everything fell on him and he puts his turban back on, all of a sudden he gets all bent out of shape that he is, his religion and his nationality, but yet they'd known each other for years. Then this one's.
Oh wait, who's doing it? No. That's the first time we've had this. See, this is the reason why we can't. Do not remove. This is the reason why we can't have an open. We got to do a closed session. Please don't remove nobody. We're in the middle of our contest. Please, whoever did that, don't do it again. Please, go ahead, Miss Sarah.
Then he comes in and says he'd never seen him before in his life. But yet this guy loaned him $5,000 to pay his rent. They went to a judge, had a notarized paper with the judge here saying that he
that wasn't
that
a
she
judge.
was there and witnessed the whole thing. Yes, she was the judge. She said she was the judge.
No,
well, she was actually the lawyer. She was a lawyer. But go ahead. It's okay, Miss Smith. Go ahead.
Our lawyer, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm looking at him and reading his name and going,
I got
judge.
You. Right.
It's a senior moment, all right? I'm allowed, okay?
I have those too.
I'm 62. I'm 62 in 2 days, so look, give me a break here.
Right.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. We had, it's been, and the case was all over the place. So the defamation of character, we really couldn't find any kind of defamation of character.
Okay.
So, but the contract, yes, because he states never saw him before, but yet this guy loans him $5,000, said he'd known him for years, and gives him a pair of fake roller skates, which honestly, I would have had them if somebody handed me a pair of gold roller skates, I'd have gone and had them suckers, appraised right then and there before I took, all of that. But that's a whole different story. So that's how we came up with this decision. The defamation, we couldn't find any evidence of, but the breach of contract, yeah, he owes him $5,000.
All right. Well,
or
thank you.
25,000, whatever he's going for.
Right. All right. Okay. Thank you, Miss Smith. All right. Well, there it is.
Here we go again.
Do not remove.
Now another one's
okay.
trying to get rid of my jury.
It's okay. Do not remove, you all. Do not remove. The good thing is we're almost done. See, that's the reason why we can't do a public room, because somebody's gonna come in and wild out. All right. So, all right then, Miss Queen Wolf, Mr. Al Bundy, I'll say this. This was a very good case. You all argued your case very good. As you could tell, the jury was really focused on your case. They explained everything, but we have to have a winner. We have to have a loser. Go ahead, Mr. Bundy.
I'll take the loss. I take the loss very kindly. Great job,
Okay.
Trey. I appreciate it. But when I asked you yesterday about the defamation of contract, you said that it was a spelling mistake. It's only defamation of character. So I didn't know about the contract until opening arguments.
No. On the thing, it says defamation of character in a contract dispute.
Nope. It just says defamation of contract. And me and you talked about it a couple nights ago, and you're like, "Oh, Jesus, it does say that." I meant
Really?
to say defamation of character. Yep. So the contract was just added. That's why we weren't prepped for it.
1 second. Let me before I do something, let me just read it. 1 second. I got my tablet
No,
right here.
no. It's okay. You don't. You can read it later on your own time. But I just thank you. I appreciate it. I'll take the loss.
All right. Well, okay, that's what we'll do. But again, this was a very good case. But Miss Wolf, you have won your case. All right. Thank you very much. And that's going to be it for the night. I'm open the gate for everybody. Anybody can come in and do what they do. But
why'd you call
Your
us
Honor?
in here?
yeah, I'm
Why
gonna take
were
a
we
picture. I'm
standing
gonna,
over
I'm
here?
gonna take a
Oh,
picture
okay.
of the winners. That's all. I just want to take a picture. 1 second. If I can stop this thing here.
Okay, is this